Hi, I'm Anne-Marie. A very, very warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining me tonight, whether it be the first time or the 50th time. It's fantastic to have you with me, so thank you so much for joining me. Now, as always, I'm going to give you just a minute or two just to get you set up how you'd like it. Just the kit that you need tonight, a mat, head cushion or pad or cushion off the sofa, whatever you've got available. If you'd like to, we do have a nice little hamstring stretch later, so you might want a yoga belt if you've got one, or one of the stretchy bands. Not needed if you don't have one, so don't panic, or a dressing gown belt, anything like that, don't panic. And we're just going to start with some nice relaxing breathing. So when you're ready, I'm going to breathe in, 2, 3, 4, hold, and out, hold, in, hold, out, and hold, and in, hold, out, and hold, and in, and hold, and out, and hold. Nearly there. In, and hold, and out, and hold. In, hold, out, and hold. Last time. In, and hold, and out, and hold. Alright, fantastic. It is so good to have you with me. I do hope that has just calmed you down just even before we start. So the usual reminders, if you need any water at any time, grab it, that's great. If any of the moves I'm suggesting don't make you feel wonderful, please don't do them. Okay, so any twinges, anything that's sore, any aggravated injuries, if you need to take a break, please do. If you're feeling great, feeling strong, you can work with the harder options available. If you want to take it a bit easier, work with it easier. And you know what, if the move isn't working for you this time, I'll try to give you some different alternatives, or just take a little stretch, a little rest out, okay? All of that is good. I want this hour to be really productive that we have together and really nice and relaxing. It's been a funny old day actually, so I don't know how your day's been. It's been a funny old day for me. So I'm going to just teach a class that I absolutely love teaching, to be honest. It's one that I've probably done before, you may have seen before in a style, but I love it. I absolutely love it. And I thought, do you know what, after a funny old day, this is what I need as well. So I do hope you enjoy it as much as I do today. Okay, so we're just going to start as we always do. Let's get our alignment absolutely fantastic before we get going. So start with your feet directly underneath those pointy bits on the hips, the pointy hip bones, and we're just going to stretch out the toes and roll forwards and backwards and really relax out the feet. You might want to move gently forwards as you come up onto the toes, and just let the body weight sneak backwards as you go back onto the heels. Wonderful. And allowing that to settle in the middle, we'll just roll out and in on our ankles. Now I know I always start these classes like this, I know it's repetitive, but you know what, it's nice to have some rhythm to our lives and something reliable. That's what I'm thinking, sounds good to me. So I quite like starting like this, and you know that you're starting it in the right way. You're going to be really nice and neutral and comfy before we get going, which is fantastic. So the feet now, just let them settle, let them spread, let them relax out. Moving up, we're just going to make sure our knees are nice and soft. Moving through to the hips, the pelvis, that bowl of water inside the pelvis, we're going to tuck under, tuck over. So it's that lower back getting movement into here. You're moving from that arch in the lower back down through to the bottom of the pelvis, just tilting and tilting. A bowl of water would let the water flow out of the front and then the back. So getting that movement in there. As always, I can only imagine what kind of day you've had. It may have been on your feet, it might have been in the garden, it might have been sitting down all day, you might have been chatting with people all day on Zoom or whatever thing that you're using at the moment, or just had a really quiet time. Well, this is our time together, this is our hour of just enjoying the movement of our bodies together. Okay, that sounds a bit rude, it's not meant to sound rude. Ignore that, obviously. I'm going to go red. Right, let that come to settle in the middle. And you're going to have a small arch into the lower back. Pulling up, so pulling down through the bottom of the spine, pulling up through the top of the head. I've got the giggles, this is terrible. Like making that spine nice and long. So the ribs are directly over the hips. Just going to take those shoulders forwards, up, back, and ease the shoulder blades down the back. So really settled down, nice. You've got a long neck, shoulders drawn away from the ears. The head is standing nice and tall at the top of the spine, chin pointing forwards. Arms are just naturally out by the sides, hands maybe pointing forwards or in towards the legs, and just feeling great to start with. Fantastic. Let's go for some full and wide breathing. So when you're ready, really opening out into the rib cage and relaxing it down. Feeling that rib cage like a set of bellows. This is some more new Plinky Plonky music, quite exciting. The first time I've heard this one as well, so I'm hoping it's a good one. Really allowing the breath in towards the body. And relax it there. Okay, we're going to think about our core contraction tonight. We're going to use that visualization of the hips to belt. So you've got 10 notches on the belt. On your next full and wide breath in, breathe in. And tighten around those hips. It's really drawing around, drawing in, possibly drawing up inside as well, but it's as hard as it's going to go. It's that 10th notch on the belt, and relax. Just relax, and as you relax, just breathe. And allow your body to actually relax, okay? And on the next full on my breath in, breathe in. Take it into that 5th notch on the belt. So a little bit tight, you've got the tension, you can feel it under the fingertips, just on inside your hips. And relax. Okay, and on your next full and wide breath, then breathe in. That 3rd notch on the belt, so just a gentle tightening, a gentle tension. So you might feel that sensation of tightening around the hips. Alternatively, you might be feeling it like that lift inside the body, that you're just drawing up gently inside, just pulling up gently onto the pelvic floor as though you've got that elevator inside, or drawing around at the hips. So we are ready, we are good to go, which is fantastic. I'm going to start with some shoulder rolls. If you hold tension in your shoulders, this will hopefully feel like bliss. So bring the shoulders forwards, up, back, and down. Really working with the movement that you've got. Seeing how far you can make them go around. This is one of the rare times in a Pilates class that I encourage you. Bring those shoulders up towards the ears. You may wear them like earrings just this once. Okay, and releasing, relaxing those shoulder blades down the back. But let's lead with the fingertips now. Keeping the shoulder blades down, but allowing the arms to have that big rotation now. So now I'm controlling that position of the shoulder blades. I'm controlling where the top of the shoulders go, but I'm reaching with the fingertips, reaching round to the back, reaching all the way forward. So you might find that your arms can go slightly past, your hands go slightly past your body line. It might be that that's a bit too tricky, that that's not a great motion for you, so it might just come kind of down at the sides, and either of those is fine. Just working with your motion. It might feel good to try and increase that range of motion just a little smidge, just a little smidge. Okay, we're going to relax it down here. So this time we're going to do a little bit of a calf raise as we go. We're going to bring the arms forwards and up, just coming up onto our toes and relaxing it back down. So a little sneaky balance. It's not the big one, it's not the big one, don't get excited yet. Reaching up and forwards and waving it tight. Do you know I had another brilliant recipe come to me this week? It was another good porridge recipe, thank you so much. Brilliant, and it was with a picture and everything. And I wish I could remember it all, so I'm going to have to look it up again, but I know there was a yummy walnut bit on top. Oh, it looked amazing. It was after I requested pancake recipes. It would have been a perfect pancake topping as well. It did look good, so thank you very much for that recipe. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Okay, relax that down here. Bringing the elbows in towards the waist. We're going to do a dumb waiter, so imagine a tray or a Hot chocolate maybe tonight. Why not a hot chocolate? Just resting on your hands and you're just going to reach out to the side. We'll alternate sides here. Yeah, any recipe, send them my way, I'm all over it. Love a good recipe. There we go. So the thumb is kind of leading this move. Can you imagine it's the thumb going out to the side? Now depending on the range of motion you have around that shoulder joint, you might be able to get it a little bit further, a little bit back. Or it might be quite tight for you, and this just opens out around that rotator cuff, opens out around the shoulder. Actually, do you know, I'm finding my music a little bit loud. So you just stick with this. I'm just going to turn it down. I've overwhelmed myself tonight. I got too excited when I put it on. Oh, that's a bit more chilled, isn't it? That's a bit better. Yuki, great. You never noticed it, did you? I totally got away with that. I don't think I can be bothered to edit it later. You'll just have to notice me running off. It's fine. It's all fine. Oh, it is one of those days, isn't it? It is one of those days. Right, and relax that there. We're going to have a stretch down the side. So to start with, I'm just going to stretch out the neck. So coming back to our neutral position, if you take your ear down towards your shoulder, and you're going to lengthen down the side of the neck and reach those fingertips down away from you if that feels comfy. You'll feel this stretch down the side. If you want to, you can use the opposite hand just to gently ease the head over. Again, if anything's twingy or uncomfy, don't do it. Just to the point of kind of feeling a stretch but no discomfort. Okay, relax that there. Back to the middle, taking the ear over to the opposite side, and then reach those fingertips down. So it's just quite a nice, quite an unusual stretch actually, unless you really make an effort to stretch your neck. It's not one that you might naturally do very often. Okay, just fingertips again if you'd like to, just a little bit of pressure with the fingertips, nothing too drastic. Fantastic, and bringing the head back to the middle, I'm just going to let it flop over side to side. Well, controlled flop. I don't know what you call it. It's not really a flop then, is it? Okay. And I'm going to take the shoulders, so I'm just going to gradually build that stretching down the side. Oh, fantastic. Do you know, as I said, this is one of my favourite classes to teach and routines to teach, and this was the first class I ever taught when I trained to be a Pilates instructor. So I'm taking you back. I think when you first start teaching, you always do teach all your favourite moves. Or, because you can, it's quite nice. You get to do your perfect class, it's brilliant. You should try it. And stretching down, reaching down. Oh, and fingertips aren't making it all the way down to the knees maybe, because you're taking the whole spine into that move. The opposite elbow is coming up along the side of the body. Oh, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, and relax that there. So now we're going to do a little bit of screwing in the light bulb. Let the hands, the feet go a little bit wide. Oh my goodness, last week, sole of the feet. I'm going to remember that, aren't I? Let's screw in the light bulb. So, palm of the hand in front of the body, and I'm just going to twist it to take it backwards and then up. So the fingertip is just screwing up as though you're screwing a light bulb into the top corner of the room. And as I'm leading with the fingertip, what's happening, I'm stretching along the side of the body. The opposite foot is just gently coming away, so I'm ending up coming onto my toes. Nice big stretch and rotation across the body. Allowing the spine to rotate, getting some rotation through the shoulder joint. Bit of rotation into the hips as well as you're moving around. Lovely. And hold it up there for me. Hold it there. Let the gaze drop down to the floor and gently allow the heel to go back down to the floor. So you've got this lovely stretch all the way down the side. Really reaching, seeing how far you can get your fingers away from your heel. And it's quite hard work actually to hold. So just relax and release and let it flop. Give it a bit of a shake. Give it a bit of a shake. We're going to do the other side. So remember, we'll start with that palm facing towards your screen. And the feet are a little bit wider. And kind of just gently tip my toes around to the side as well. And it's that reach up to the top corner and release it down. Reach and release. Oh. Stretch it up, stretch it up, stretch it up, stretch it up. Oh, lovely. Lovely, and feeling that stretch all the way down the side of the body, the rotation through the shoulder, the stretch almost kind of down to the leg. Really nice big reach, opening out that rib cage at the front of the body, so you can really breathe into that nicely. So hold it up, hold it up, hold it up. Let the eye gaze drop down, so you've got a nice long line down the body, and the heel is going to ease down towards the floor. The rib cage is able to open. You can breathe really well actually through this left side for me this time. And feeling the stretch. And release. Give it a shake. Give it a wave. Give it a shake. Lovely, lovely. We're going to do some arcing. I always love a bit of arcing, don't I? I do. I'll go side on. I'll go this way. Oh, I'm going to be looking at myself. That's exciting. Right. So starting in neutral, standing up nice and tall, shoulders back and down, and from here, just let the chin tilt and slump. It's a gentle slump. You breathe out, and you breathe in. Come up, opening up at the front, open the chest, maybe look up if you like to, you can come up onto your toes, it's purely optional, and then bringing it back down to breathe out. In and up, ooh, out and down, at my ankle then, ooh, that was good. Ooh, and stretch, oh no, I'm getting older, I've started saying ooh every time I move, that's a worry, never mind, happens to the best of us, doesn't it? And slump, and stretch. Whoa. Down, and last one. And we're going to turn that into a small roll down. So from here, tilt chin, peel the spine. Not going to do too many of these. We'll do a few more again before we get down onto the mat at the end. So just maybe 3 or 4. Just to really warm up. Go a little bit further down than last time. And stretching it back up. Lovely. Couple more. And getting those spine, restacking the vertebrae each time. Oh, one more. Maybe coming down a little bit lower. Don't worry about getting all the way to the bottom. We will do this again in a minute. So just to give us that little bit of extra flexibility here. Wonderful. I'm going to face you again. So we're going to do some opening the gate. So if you remember this one, we're starting in neutral. Bring that knee maybe up and maybe slightly across, and just opening it out and bringing it around. We'll alternate sides so that the hips really remain pretty much pointing forwards, and you're just seeing how far you can take the knee in each direction. So it's going from inside to outside whilst maintaining that hip position. There's no rush. There's no rush. Just make it nice and chilled. Fantastic. Lovely. Okay, just one more to even up. Lovely. All done. So, it is time for the balance bit. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I know you're excited. I always am. So, we're going to do a knee lift into a lunge. I'm just going to move my head cushions to make sure I don't trip over them. We're going to do a knee lift into a lunge. So I'll show you from the side because it's a bit easier to see in this direction, but starting in that neutral position, feet hip distance apart, standing knee is soft. When you're ready, just take the knee up and you're going to take it, so tap the toe behind it and just press down into the heel. So it's a knee lift and a press down. I'm making it really nice and slow and controlled so that I am able to maintain this balance throughout. Now if you want to, you can bring the arms forwards and up as you go. That's an option. If you prefer to, maybe you'd like to take the arms wide. I'll try not to whack anything in my house. Right, there we go. Maybe you want to keep them nice and high. Okay, and this time, I'm going to encourage you to take it really, really slowly. So from here, this is going to be a slow one, okay? So we're going forwards, forwards, forwards. So we're now into balance. And you can see, even in balance, there's a lot of movement going on in that standing leg, and that's fine. Taking that knee up in front, nice and high and controlled, and it'll depend on your flexibility, your hip flexor strength here, how you can hold that. We're holding that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and take it back just as slowly. Just as slowly. Okay, so taking the toe behind, letting it come to settle and holding. We'll just hold this for a little sneaky calf stretch. So feet hip distance apart, kind of on the tram lines. Pushing that heel down, straight line top of the head, all the way down to the bottom of the heel. And the distance is such that you can keep the heel down, but you are getting a stretch in that back calf. Gently easing the body weight forwards through the front knee. That feels quite nice, actually. I like that. Wonderful. So let's do the other side. I'm going to do it front on this time so that you get a different perspective. So I have to try and make sure I'm not going to crash. Okay, but when you're ready, we're just going to take that knee up and forwards, and we're going back into a lunge behind. So we'll do them reasonably slowly. We will have that really slow one coming up. So again, you've got options with the arms. Might want them on your waist. Might want them wide to the side. We were doing one before where we're letting the arms follow. Loads of options, and there is plenty of wobble going on in that standing leg, and that's absolutely fine. That's what we want, really. It's that corrective movement. But it's staying still soft at the knee, so even in this kind of tall position, not locking out that knee. Keeping it nice and long. So we'll do one more at this speed, then we'll do a lovely slow one. Okay, might have my arms out this time, see what happens. Right, slow, 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 slow. Okay, so coming up, and maintaining this lovely relaxed speed. Standing knee soft, bring that knee up high if you can. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and just slowly, slowly, slowly back, slowly. Okay. Let the toe come down, we're going to have that calf stretch. So if you need to adjust your feet here, if you haven't quite got that distance right, just have a little adjust, okay? And this is what I mean, if you can see hopefully better in this direction in terms of the tram track. There's still feet are still hip width apart, just one's shimmying forward and the other one's right back. So the feet are both pointing forwards but offset from each other. Okay, pushing the body weight forward through the front knee, nice and long all the way through the body. It's a really nice stretch for your calf, it's really, really lovely. I'm going to make sure we get some good stretches in today. Quite fancy a bit of a stretchy day, a bit of a chilled day, a bit of a stretchy day, a bit of a just take a moment kind of day. Sounds good to me. Right, wonderful, and we'll relax that. You know me, there is always going to be a second balance if I can ever think of one. It's not often I don't. So here's our second balance team. We're going to do some tree pose. You've got options here as always. If you need to grab onto something, it's fine, okay? But if you want to, we're going to try and really work on that balance. So standing leg is nice and soft. Now you can either have your foot down, that's fine. Okay, it's all good. If you're feeling comfy with that, you can take it further up. And it's so controlled. We're not really particularly rushing through this move. It's just a kind of opening out at the hips and bringing them back together. Okay, and you might be able to bring that foot up a little bit higher. If it is getting towards kind of joint level, don't be putting any pressure into the side of that joint, okay? So literally, at the moment, mine, whilst it is at about knee height, my foot, it's barely touching, If you want to get it higher, and I always struggle to hold my foot this high, just with the friction on my leg, so you can kind of use your hand just to assist to hold that leg into the height that you might like. You can just keep it lower. Okay, it's not a big drama. Not a biggie. Okay. Okay, and what we're going to do, we're going to hold that leg out. So do choose your high position. You might want to stay low. You might want to go into the calf. I'd encourage you, if we're holding it, not to probably stick at the joint, because you might want to put some pressure in to hold that position. So because I'd like to go a little bit higher, but I do struggle getting my foot to stay in position, I'm just going to hold it with my hand. I'm going to try and stay standing. So think about your arm position. Maybe you want to be on the hips, maybe wide, maybe high. Okay, just holding this position. I don't think I'll ever be a glamorous gym instructor. I think this quite regularly. Definitely not one of these that are totally zen. That's alright, isn't it? That's all right. Nice to see someone else wobbling around as well. Okay, relax it there, relax, relax. Wonderful. We're going to do the same on the other side. Actually, I'm just going to give your legs a bit of movement. Oh, felt that. Okay. Okay. Let's do the other side. Get that standing leg nice and soft. And you can start wherever you'd like to start. So if it starts down here, you keep the toes down. Maybe your toes stay down the whole time, that's fine. Okay. Still keeping that standing knee just ever so slightly broken. You've just got a gentle, gentle bend in it. And don't break your knee, that's not a good idea. Just bend it a bit, it's fine. Okay, or again, if you'd like to take it higher and unlike me, you struggle to keep it up by friction alone or just by holding it with the sheer muscles. Maybe I need to work on my hold the uppy leggy muscles, as they're known in the trade. Be your hip flexors, I think. Oh, 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 oh. Okay. We're good, we're good, we're good. I'm going to take it lower again. It's obviously not my good side. Which is your good side? Have we done it? Are we on it? Right, okay, let's get into a static position. So again, that might be low. Clamp some on the shin. I kind of avoid the knee region if I were you. So above or below that knee. Let's try that high position again. And think about where your arms are. Maybe they're wide, maybe they're high, maybe they're on your waist. Maybe they're clinging onto a wall for dear life. That's another option. Not a bad option for this, to be honest. Alright, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, you did it! Another week's balances! Hooray! You did it! Awesome. Right, we're going to get to the front of our mat and we're going to do a roll down. So again, avoid anything that you might headbutt, so that's not ideal. But getting our comfortable neutral position, this will be our opportunity to do for you rolling down and rolling up. So really getting that spine nice and warm. So from here, neutral position, full and wide breathing. Get that core contraction on. Put on your hips to belt when you're ready. Tilt your chin and just start that roll down. So the knees stay kind of softish the whole time. Don't need to go all the way down to start with it, just rolling down, rolling up. Lovely. And take this at your pace. Take this at your pace. It's going to be your pace, your range of movement. All these good things that are all related to you, that make you feel good. Maybe you want to time it really nicely with your breathing. Maybe you want it to be slower than your breathing, because you really want to think about how these vertebrae are moving independently. But gradually increasing the size of this move. Allowing the fingers to drop heavy towards the mat. As the head goes down, it feels heavy and it draws that spine nice and long down towards the floor. You should feel lovely and relaxing. Really stretching it down. And the next time you get down, and there is no rush to get there, the next time you get down, just hold it down there for me. Just allow your spine to stretch, to relax, to let the head be heavy. Now I've got this rather exciting thing at the moment that I need to go to an optician to get my glasses tightened. So every time my head goes down, my glasses fall off. Which is why my glasses often end up on the floor in these glasses. Alas, one day life will return to normal. You can just pop into the optician. But until that time, I shall just take them off. So stretch, relax, just be chilled. Top of the head falling down towards the mat. You can have the knees a bit soft. I'm pretty sure mine will be. Just to take a little bit of the tension out of the hamstrings. But still feeling the stretch, even though these will not be locked out if I know me. There's still a really nice long stretch all the way down the back. And the
whole of my back is just allowed to relax and not be compressed. Okay, and when you're ready, in whatever way is comfy for you, if you want to bend at the knees, we're going to come down onto our backs. So maybe that's going directly back, maybe it's going through all fours. I'm going to remember to put my glasses back on. And we're coming down towards the mat. So we're lying on our backs in our neutral position. We're going to get towards our neutral position. So starting with your feet together, take your heels out, take your toes out. So your feet, knees, hips are really nicely aligned on those tram tracks. So from here I want to get that neutral position in the lower part of your back. Okay. So we're going to just flex it in towards the floor, bring it up towards the ceiling, down towards the floor, and up to the ceiling. And moving through those two endpoints really smoothly and comfortably. So it's that pelvic tilting. I mean, we did it when we were standing up, that bowl of water. Now we've got the sensation that there's a torch or a pencil on the front of your pelvis that's pointing and drawing a line above you. Just going straight over your head, straight over your feet. And allowing that to come and settle, so you've got a neutral curve in the lower part of the back. Okay, so now waist down is all really nice, calm, relaxed, neutral. Moving up then, let the rib cage just be heavy, let the shoulders just be heavy and open out. Take the shoulders down, away from the ears. So shoulder blades are still drawn down the back, they're almost drawn down in almost a little V shape towards your back pockets. The spine is long, you've got that sensation of pulling at the bottom of the spine, drawing up at the top of the head, and everything is neutral. The hands will naturally point in or point up. And this is our starting position. So from here, let's get back to our full and wide breathing. Fantastic. And on your next full and wide breath, breathe in, switch on the core, put on your belt, and as you breathe out, float one leg up for me. Okay, and from here, we're just going to breathe out, just blow the leg away, breathe in, just bring it back. So I'm keeping things really nice and simple tonight. Not necessarily easy, but simple, easy to follow, easy to think about our position, and easy to get the right sensations as we're going. So what I want you to think about here, keep these hips really level, okay, keep the upper body relaxed, so from kind of almost tummy button upwards, just chilled, absolutely chilled. I'm working into the hip flex, the knee is not coming past kind of the hip region, the pelvis, it's not coming in over towards the chest. And every time I breathe out, the leg goes away and it comes back in. So if this is feeling fantastic, which I hope it is for you, if this is feeling really good and you want to take it up a little notch, let's imagine we're floating the stationary leg almost off the floor. Almost. Okay. So that really ups the ante on the core on holding that position. Now if this is still feeling good for you and you would like to, we're going to actually float this leg up. So just bring this leg up as well. Reset if you need to. When you're ready, blow that leg away. So one leg is completely stationary and the other leg is moving away and back in. Now if you're still happy, everything's still feeling good and you'd like to take this up a notch, you bring the arms up and then it's opposite arm and leg. So this is really getting into full body kind of movement, isn't it? You're moving all the way to stretch out, fingertips to toes. Now the legs are still relaxed, okay? It's not that I'm suddenly pointing the toes and tightening up everywhere. The core is feeling some tension. You've got that belt on. The hip flexor is working hard. The shoulder's working now. But it's all about the control here. So I'm still trying to maintain that control behind the back. So if you imagine the imprint of my spine on the floor shouldn't be changing drastically. If I looked at my mat, and my mats do tend to be quite squashy that I use, I quite like a squashy mat. There shouldn't be like a really one-sided imprint. It should be fairly consistent. Okay. And let's release this here. So the legs come down. 1, 2, the arms come down. And relax. And if you did do that, really concentrating, I'm sure you felt it, which is great. So let's bring that leg in, the leg that was moving, bring it in towards the chest and just relax the hip flexor that was being worked really hard. Now, the obvious good news and the bad news is we've only done one side. So if you enjoy that move, woohoo! And if you find it quite hard, well, just one more side to go, so it's not all bad. Okay. I do like that move. I think it's just a really nice controlled one, where you can work really hard, and you do work super hard in that core and the hip flexor. But there's enough that you can still think about it really consistently and think about how to control your core. And it's one which really switches that core on, because you can concentrate quite hard on that part of your body without too many random things going on around it, which is good. Right, so release that, release, release, release. Okay, we're going to do the other side. So coming back to our neutral position, if you just want to sort out your spine again, by all means do that. So you've got your neutral curve at the lower part of the back, everything else nice and relaxed. When you're ready, breathe in, switch on the core, and as you breathe out, float the other leg up. Now do remember to do the other one, that's a good idea at this stage. So blow that leg away. Breathe it in to bring it back. Okay. So before we bring in anything complicated, anything else going on, let's just take a sanity check. Is the upper body really nice and relaxed? The shoulder blades drawn down the back. Are you holding any tension up here at the moment? Are you able to maintain your core position so your tummy's not suddenly doming up and you're not having the spine either flexing towards the floor or arching up towards the ceiling? You've got just that neutral curve. If any of that is kind of going wrong at this stage, don't go up a level, okay? Let's sort it out at this level before you try and up the intensity. Okay. And as you're doing it, I think, my shin is kind of basically parallel to the ceiling as it's going up. So, okay, we're all feeling good, everything's okay. If you'd like to, imagine, visualise taking the other leg almost off the mat. Almost. Fantastic. So you're getting that tension into the core, working nice and hard on this moving leg. This hip flexor is doing a lot already. This is feeling good and you'd like to, next time your knee comes up, bring that other leg up. So starting from tabletop, still got the core contracted, breathe out, just take the leg away. Okay, so really now you're controlling from your waist down all of that weight. It's acting like a big lever. So that's why your core is having to work so hard, because you're holding all of this weight away from the lever, away from the fulcrum. Get the words right, it's terrible. There we go. And if this is feeling good and you'd like to, just bring those arms in as they were before. Now at any point, if this is getting too much, take it down a notch, take a rest. Bring the knees in towards the chest. Or you can just bring the legs down. Loads of options available, okay? Don't need to go crazy. I'm finding this is really working even harder for me this side, actually. So just a couple more. Still maintain that core. Okay, and from here, just relax, relax, relax. And we're going to let that hip flexor have a little rest and relaxation here. Just enjoying that. Fantastic. And to make sure there is no chance I forget it at any point later, I'm going to do a hamstring stretch now. So we've got a really nice stretch in between kind of our hard work moves tonight. So I do like to use a belt, you don't have to, but if you have one and you'd like to, your belt, your stretchy band, whatever you've got, if you pop it around the middle of your foot and just wrap your hands in such a way that you can hold without holding too much tension in the upper body. So use that just to ease the leg in towards the body. The important point is this knee is straight. And you're in a really comfortable position if you'd like to take the opposite leg down and away, just to pin the hips down towards the mat. Now it might be your leg is right down here and that's absolutely fine. If you're getting a stretch in the hamstrings there, awesome. You might be, you know, roughly foot above the hips. You might be that your foot's way over your head. If so, I salute you, and I could only dream of such flexibility. So just working with what you've got, and this is what I've got tonight. And it may change day to day. And if you don't have a belt, you could just be holding kind of behind the back of your leg, behind the back of your thigh, or your calf. But if you do, I just quite like the fact you can relax a bit more into the upper body. You've got the belt, you've got a little bit more control, a little bit more ability to draw that leg in. So when you're ready, just breathe in, and as you breathe out, see if you've got any more there. Any more, nothing uncomfortable obviously, but if it just feels like a really nice stretch, then try it, try it, try it. Just enjoy it. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And relax it there. Okay, so you might want to bend at the knee. We're going to switch sides. I'm going to take my belt across and find that comfortable position now in this leg. Again, the stretch all the way down the hamstrings. Love a hamstring stretch. That's really one of my favourite positions. Okay, so when you're ready, breathe in. And as you breathe out, just see if you've got that little bit more. Oh, that was a good one, that moved. That moved. See if you've got any there. Again, nothing uncomfortable. You know that if you've been to many of my classes, you'll know you just work within your limits. And that can get better, more day to day, worse day to day, and that's okay. Just feel your body each time you join me in these sessions, and progressively over time, it will progressively, gradually improve, which is wonderful. Just release that and relax it down. We're going to do one more exercise on our backs. We're going to do a shoulder bridge, which, this really wants to be one of my favourite moves as well. This is why it's such a good class. I love all these moves. Oh my goodness, this is the best. This is the best. Right, feet in towards your bum a bit closer. So if you reach your fingertips down, you might be able to just about touch your heels there and thereabouts. So your feet are close towards your pelvis, knees pointing up towards the ceiling. And we're just going to find that neutral position again. It'll feel a little bit different. With your feet closer in, it just tilts your pelvis a little bit more than it did in that last position. Upper body nice and relaxed as before, chin pointing up towards the ceiling. If you did have a head cushion for that last move, get rid of it for this one, okay? We don't need one for a shoulder bridge. So from here, when you're ready, follow my breathing. Just relax. Breathe in, switch on the core. As you breathe out, I want you to start with that pelvic tilt. So you press the lower back into the floor and gradually work to press the hips up towards the ceiling by rolling up through the spine and bringing it back down when you are ready. So coming through neutral. Now last week when I got really a bit overexcited with balls and bands and all sorts of things, if you remember, part of that focus we did a couple of bridges, not many, but we did a couple with the ball in between our knees or with a cushion in between our knees, just to help us to remember to keep the distance between our legs constant. What you find if you're not concentrating too much, as you press up, gently roll up with the hips, you can find that either the knees full up together or they flop wide, okay? So it's just trying to remind you to maintain that distance as it is. So thinking about progressively rolling up through the spine, and if you need to keep it nice and slow to do that, do it as slow as you need, that's fine. And gradually replacing those vertebrae. So as we get back, we're always going back through to neutral. Reset if you need to, and when you're ready, tilt the pelvis, press through the heels, squeeze the glutes and tilt and peel. And at the top of the move, I don't know if you noticed, but there's still still got your shoulder blades, the top of your shoulder blades down onto the mat. So it's never coming that you're putting pressure in towards your neck. You're not quite going that high up. So it's keeping the top of the shoulders, the top of the back just on the floor throughout, so it's not pressing through the neck. There shouldn't be much pressure into the neck on this. Don't need it. Right, and if you're feeling great, like, come on, make it harder, make it harder. Right, when you get to the top, if you want to, you can float those arms over and then take it back down. Okay, and get back to your neutral. Bring the arms down when you're ready. Take it back up again. And if this is feeling good, the next time we go, after the arms go over the top, I'll just shim myself. I find I shimmy up the mat doing this actually. I don't know if you do. But after you get to the top, the arms have gone over the top. And from here, you're just going to straighten one leg and bring it back. And straighten the other leg. Now on this leg straightening, you're rolling back down, but you're thinking about keeping the hips nice and level. So you've really got to keep those glutes really strong at the top. So you get to the top, arms go over if you wish, and this is all adding on, so don't panic if you don't want to. But keep the hips level, straighten and relax. So you're pressing through the foot that has remained down and aiming to keep those hips nice and level. So think about that peeling. We're still pressing, progressing through the spine, through the vertebrae, arms over the top. Okay, we're going for that leg. I'm just going to show you the hips. Staying level. Staying level. Okay, and we're just going to do one more. So this is the last one of these, so you get your position. Oh, I never brought my arms back. Got too excited. I feel like things, I tell you, I get so distracted. It's terrible, isn't it? All the way to the top, float the arms over. Now it's the legs, Anne-Marie, you can do it. I need one of you guys telling me what to do. I really do. Right, and then peel it down. And then bring the arms back, and then rest and relax. Oh, great! Bring those knees up towards the chest. We'll just have a little lower back relaxation. Wonderful. Okay. So from here, we are going to roll over onto our sides. Now for this one, you might want to take your head cushion with you. I'm going to take my glasses off, otherwise I get squished. Right. And we're going to do a combination of arm opening and clam. Now we did this, I think, last week. And the trick being, if you only want to do one of these two things, just do the one you enjoy. If you want to do both, fantastic. That's great, but I'm not going to be there to know, so do whatever you like, okay? So in this sitting, kind of falling off a chair position, so 90 degrees at the hips, 90 degrees at the knees. Press the top hip away. You've got a small gap under the waist. Shoulder blades still drawn down. I've just got a head cushion under my head just to support my neutral spine. When you're ready, we're going to start with an arm opening. So breathe in, switch on the core, and as you breathe out, float the arm over the top. And the aim of the game is to keep the hips really nicely stacked and to take that top arm over as far as you comfortably can. So you're opening out of the chest. I find it helpful to follow with your eyes where your back arm is going if you can, and that's comfy. And try to remind yourself to keep that gap underneath your waist by pushing the top hip away and trying to keep the hips stacked where they are so that you get rotation through that thoracic spine. Now when you've done 3 with the upper part of the body, the arm opening, then we can move on to the lower part. We're going to do a clam. So you're opening the knees out and we'll extend and bring it back. Only going to do 3. So again, you have a choice here. If you prefer just to stick with the arm opening, by all means crack on. That's all good. But if you liked, there's a little bit of variety built in here. So bringing it down, and we've done 3, so we'll take it back to the arms. but it also gives you that little rest. If you find with the clam it's a little bit hard work to do for a prolonged period and you'd like to do more of them, this is kind of a way to sneak in more reps without massively increasing the intensity. You get this fantastic stretch instead. Wonderful. Keeping that top hip pushed away and bringing it back. And we'll go back to our lower body. So we're up and extend. So the gap between the knees isn't getting that massive. Maybe about the size of a football, but again, I'm trying to keep the hips so that they're not rolling backwards. And that will constrain how far you can get those knees apart. Okay, back to the upper body. Okay. Oh, fantastic. And back to those legs. We're just going to rest it there. Lovely. Wonderful. Let that leg come in front. Give it a rub, give it a pat, get blood flowing if you need to. Wonderful. We're going to actually come up to sitting. So you might want to go through all fours. You might just want to help yourself up by the side. And we're going to do some spine twists. So get your legs comfy however you would like them. It might be that you like them kind of wide and out. I tend to find it myself a little bit comfy to do it cross-legged or with the legs just straight in front. So just get in a comfortable position. If you want to, sometimes actually, if you find sitting on the floor a real pain in the neck and you don't like it, get onto a chair. Okay, if it's going to help, get onto a chair, or you can sit on your cushion or your block, and that might just help you with your pelvic position. Okay, so I'm just going to show you sitting on a block tonight as a bit of a change. But yeah, if sitting on the floor ain't your thing, sit on something that is, okay? Just get your spine nice and long. That's what we're really aiming for. We want our hips nice and level onto the floor, onto the cushion, onto the chair, whichever, and the spine nice and long so you can get that neutral position into your lower back and you're not feeling that you're kind of hunched over. That's not what we're aiming for. Nice and tall, that's what we like. So, from here, let's get a good arm position. So you've got a few choices. You can either connect the chest to maybe the chin and that will hold your neck chin position. Maybe you want to do something more like this, kind of across our arms. Maybe you want to have them nice and wide. I really don't mind. I want you to get that real rotation into your spine. So when you're ready, sitting up nice and tall, breathe in, switch on the core, and as you breathe out, twist. Breathe in to return. Breathe out to twist. So it does make a difference if you can get that spine out of the hunched position, which is why I'm encouraging you, if doing it on the floor ain't for you, don't, okay? You might find it easier actually, maybe you do it quite well kneeling, maybe that works quite well in terms of sitting onto the back of your feet, that might be comfortable for you, or maybe that isn't comfy. There's loads of different options, so think about what does work for you. So I'm showing you here the twisting where the chin is connected to the chest. And what that means is there's not rotation through the neck, it's rotation through the middle of the spine and the spine behind the back of the ribs. What I'm aiming for is that your bum basically is even weight on the floor, so you're not kind of rolling over almost to one side as you're going. So if you had a £50 note under each of your bum cheeks, I couldn't steal them on either side, okay? It's a strange example, I know. I don't know why I use it, but it works. A really nice stretch. Can you go around a little bit further? Do you want to try one of the other arm positions? So you just have to be more conscious then of trying not to rotate with the neck. So it's not like, whoa, look how far I can go. That's not what you're trying to do. Try and keep it nice and in line if you can. It's a bit trickier when you're not connected, which is why it can be helpful to use that connection sometimes, even if it's just one or two to remind yourself what you're aiming for. Keeping the spine long, you're rotating along that long spine. Okay. Now we're just one more each side. Okay, we need to do our other arm opening and clams, don't we? So, from here I'm just going to get my head. God, actually I will make sure I'm near the front of my mat, because this is the bit where I hit the cupboard usually. So, get on your side lying position again, however is comfy, shoulder blades drawn down, the hip gently eased away, small gap under the waist, knees, ankles, hips stacked. Okay? So back in our neutral position. When you're ready, breathe in, switch on the core, and as you breathe out, float that top arm over. Oh, fantastic! I have not hit anything. I feel like I must have done this before. Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. Just getting a stretch across the chest, that twist, which actually, it's quite nice after doing that spine twist seated, because you're getting an extra twist, and it feels a little bit different because the weight, obviously, as your arm goes over, you've got the weight of that long lever behind you to help you to twist. So after 3, going to move on to our lower body again. So we're opening and lengthening, if it's comfy. I mean, you can stick with the open and close, it's not a big drama. Okay? But still keeping core contracted and the hips in line, okay? 3 on the lower body, we'll go back to the upper body. So tonight you have most definitely witnessed, I think, the collection of my favourite Pilates moves. So I do hope you share some of those with me. You're not like, oh no, they're all the ones I hate. I hope you enjoyed them. I always do. Okay, let's open out those legs. I know it kind of depends for everybody what you find easiest and what you find most comfortable or most interesting or most challenging. So that's just my little selection that are my favourite ones. Taking your arm up, and at any time if you want to, you can obviously hold that arm opening open if you would like to. We're just going to do, we'll finish this set and do one more set through. So just this is our last set doing this, so just reset where you need to. If you need to draw those shoulder blades back down, you can do that. You need to make sure you've still got that gap underneath your waist by gently pushing that top hip away. Have a go at that. If you want to just try and see if you can get a 1/4 of an inch further back, then have a go. And reach, 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 over. Oh, yes, let's bring it back. We're just going to finish those legs. Fantastic, one more to go. Relax it there, relax out that top leg, give it a rub, give it a pat. Get any blood flowing that needs to be flowing. We're just going to kind of start stretching. So, getting rid of my head pan, I'm going to come up onto all 4s. And we're going to do some cat and cow because we haven't done that in ages, or that's how I feel about it. So let's do it. Sort myself out. Clothes everywhere, there we go, much better. So getting into that neutral position, we are literally just doing cat and cow, so I'm not going to spend ages getting us there, but hands under shoulders, knees under hips, and when you're ready, let the tummy drop down, head come up, and then arch up through the spine as the head drops down. We're going through those 2 positions. So I hope you've enjoyed this session tonight. I've tried to make it not too manic, not too crazy. Nice and relaxing. There's a lot going on in the world. We don't need this to be a crazy hour as well. Okay. Oh, really stretching. And if there are moves you would particularly like me to include, please let me know. Any stretches that you particularly enjoy. or any Pilates moves you particularly like to work on or have a play with. And let me know. I'm open to all suggestions. Okay, and just moving that around as well if you want to. You can do circles maybe, or figures of 8, or just holding it a little bit further back into the lower back, or a little bit further towards the upper back. Okay, we're going to do a hip flexor stretch. Oh, I love a hip flexor stretch, my goodness, they're so good. Right, so bring one foot forward. So I'm going to take that foot further forward than I normally would, so that I can't quite do 90 degrees at both hips, but I get a nice press down that back hip in towards the floor. Now you may wish to also increase the stretch along the front of the body. You might want to take the arm up and over so that you get a tricep stretch. That's one opportunity for stretch, or it might feel better to you to take the arm across and get a twist as well. But the focus in the first instance is that hip flexor. So whichever add-on or neither add-on, you might just want to stick with the hip flexor. Okay, I want this to be really nicely stretched. That first single leg stretch, a bit of a killer on these. So just relaxing it out. Okay, and we'll take it back. We're going to switch sides. So switch the feet round. And again, I kind of overstep forward on that front leg, so pushing the hip forward and down, really stretching down that hip flexor. And you've got those same options against the tricep. It's the arm that goes up and over is the same one where the leg is behind. So you get a stretch kind of all the way down that side. So that's an option if you wish, or an alternative option to take that twist across, maybe take the back arm behind and take the chest round. So it's a bit of a twist as well. Both available or neither, you can just stick with those hip flexors, whichever feels good to you. Okay, so bringing that leg back. If you want to bring the knee back, we're going to slowly stand up. So tucking the toes, push the body weight backwards, straighten up through the legs, gently curling up through the spine. Have a little chest stretch while we're at the top. So either take the arms wide and open out and back, or you might want to grasp them, maybe just behind, looking up, opening out the chest. Really feeling that nice stretch to the front. Okay. Fantastic. Right, I do hope you enjoyed. Let's have a little big breath and down. Have a fantastic week. I do hope it brings you everything you are hoping for, and I look forward to the next time that we can be together. Alright, you take care, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye.